Good. So who approves these antibiotics? Are any of the animal health products, the vaccines and the antibiotics, are they go through the same approval process as what would be for humans?
Well, actually, they do basically go through the same process. The same organization oversees them. There may be some different standards for livestock and purity issues and development of vaccines. It may not have to be quite as pure to go into the animal side of it, but once again, they do have to go through that same process, and it takes years and years to get a product developed, tested, validated, and approved through that process, and will cost multi-million dollars to get that done. And so we don't see a lot of new products coming on the market, and it's one reason we really try to make sure we're judicious in the use of the ones we have. And so that's one reason we don't want to do anything that will cause us to lose the efficacy or the availability of some of these products.
So the Food and Drug Administration is the group that oversees that process. So what kind of testing would they actually do on the product in addition to whether it works or not?
Well, they'll actually look to see if there's what the residue component of that might be in the tissues and various tissues within the animal. They'll look to see how soon it clears the system. Then if there are residues, they also look to see if there are any health implications from that residue, whether it be very minute or larger residues, and what that level of safety is. And so all those parameters have to be evaluated before a product can come to market. So they really test to see if it's effective first. Then the safety aspect is evaluated at the same time, but then how it impacts food safety. Because we're in a food producing animal, we have different and higher standards than we do in non-food producing animals. And so that the scrutiny is much higher actually here than it is in companion animals or
humans on that side.
We don't worry about that because it's not going in the food chain. So the standards are extremely high through FDA to get those approved and monitored. Once they are released, they'll continue to monitor them to see if what they saw in trials is the same thing they see in practice. And so it's an ongoing surveillance process as well through about 3 different surveillance programs. They look, if anything that's released new, they target that pharmaceutical product to see if it actually shows up in the food chain. If they see an animal that looks like it might have been treated, they'll specifically test that product. And then there's just a random sampling process that goes on continually to see if they happen to pick up anything odd or some routinely coming through the system, which thank goodness they don't find very often.